hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on your time zone. Welcome to this channel. My name is Ogbanje Joseph. Please subscribe, like, share, as well as leave a comment on the comment section. Today, we're going to be talking about the political philosophy of Aristotle. The political philosophy of Aristotle. Aristotle was a Greek philosopher born in Sagira in 384 BC. He became a student of Plato at the age of 17 and remained there as a student for over 20 years. Okay, so um, the main interest, the main interest of Aristotle is actually philosophy. And then behind philosophy, he was also interested in empirical science, especially biology. Okay, Aristotle actually wrote books, on a variety of subjects like logic, physics, metaphysics, ethics, politics, psychology, biology, aesthetics, rhetoric, and all of that. However, his major political teachings are found in his work, The Politics. The Politics. According to him, the origin of state can be found in man's contract. Okay, in man's contract. But according to him, the origin of the state cannot be found in man's contact, but in man's nature. Okay, cannot be found in man's contract, but in his nature. Okay, now according to him, the state is a creature of nature, and that man is a political animal. Therefore, man is essentially a social being. Now, it is not in isolation, but in society that he can live and live well. This means that the social instinct is the true reason for any form of society, which is the family, the village, or the state. The family or house or household is the first commoner, nucleus. The community or village is an association of several families. According to him, when several villages are united in a single complete community, large enough to be nearly or quite self-sufficing, the state comes into existence. So the state aims at the highest good. The state aims at the highest good for the greatest number. It is only in the state that man's physical and spiritual exigencies are fully met. Now, the features of an ideal state, according to Aristotle, are population. That the population here, according to him, is that it begins, that the state only begins to exist when it has attained the population sufficient for the good life in the political community. So, according to him, the population should be small because, in his view, the smaller the population, the more manageable the state will be. Okay, so that is number one feature of state. The number two is territory. Now, according to him, an ideal state should be large enough to supply citizens with the means of living comfortably. According to him, the capital city should be in a centralized position. Okay, number three is citizenship. According to Aristotle, the only people that should be granted citizenship of a state are the warriors and the priests. Okay, then the number four is education. According to him, an ideal state is a perfect exercise of virtue, which is the main aim of the state. He argued that education must be controlled by the state and made open to all citizens in the state. Okay, now in an ideal state, don't forget in an ideal state. He came up with some classifications after, so he came up with some classification. He has actually said that the heart and soul of every state is the constitution or the politia. That is, it is the arrangement. That is, of course, the politia, which is the constitution, is the arrangement of the magistracies, okay, in a state, especially of the highest of all. Okay, according to him, the government is everywhere sovereign in the state, and the constitution is in fact the government. In fact, according to him, the constitution is in fact the government. Any state where you do not have the constitution, then such a state cannot be referred to as a state, because it is the constitution that is the life wire. It is the constitution that is the ground norm. It is the constitution that is actually, that fits all institutions and individuals and specifies how they behave. Okay, so according to Aristotle, of course, he actually went ahead with his empirical evidence and studies, to study, more than 158 constitutions of different countries, and he came up with the following classifications. Okay, that constitutions anywhere in the world can be classified according to the following. Number one, monarchy. Now, what is monarchy? Monarchy is a system of government in which you have the rule of one man in the interest of the majority. Okay, here the power of the king is an absolute power, and of course, at this point the king actually uses it. Okay, in as much as the power is hereditary, the king uses that power, to better the lots of the people in the society. That is monarchy. Now, the second classification is tyranny. Now, according to Aristotle, tyranny is the perverted form of monarchy. It is the rule of one man in his interest. The rule of one man in his interest. Okay, now it is actually a very lawless society of one man that is usually over unwilling subject, usually ruling over unwilling subjects. Okay, now it is actually, he rules by force, and then is actually the worst form of every form of government. Okay, so that is actually tyranny. Then we have aristocracy. Aristocracy is the rule of few in the interest of the masses. The rule of few in the interest of the masses. So the aristocrats are a few group of people that actually rule in the interest of the masses. Okay, another form of classification is oligarchy. This is the perverted form of aristocracy, and it is the rule by the rich in their personal interest. The rule by the rich in their personal interest. Then we also have the mixed polity. This is the rule by many in the interest of the masses. Okay, that is another classification. Then number 6 classification is democracy, and according to Aristotle, democracy is the perverted form of mixed polity, because it is the rule by the many in their interests. According to him, monarchism is the best and ideal form of government, because the monarch is above the law and shares his authority with no one. Okay, in fact, he hated democracy a lot, because in democracy a whole lot of things are actually dragged behind because of institutional checks and balances, and then there is a lot of injustice and corruption, according to him, under democracy. But the best form of government, according to him, is the mixed polity. Is monarchism, is a monarchy, because the king does not act, or the monarch does not actually need the approval of any other institution to carry out developmental projects, to actually rule his domain. So to that extent, according to him, monarchy is the best form of government. Now, extrapolating Aristotle's view to the Nigerian situation of today, we have seen that in Nigeria, okay, what we practice is democracy, which is antithetical to the monarchical system of government that he actually advocated for. Okay, now he also talked about education in an ideal state, that education brings about virtue. But what do we have in the Nigerian situation today? Education is actually standing on its head. Okay, with the government not actually paying much attention to the public sector education. And so because of that, you find out that there is actually a whole lot of watering down of the educational standard in the country today. So we must learn from Aristotle because, of course, according to him, politics should be practiced only if it will actually guarantee the highest good for the greatest number. In the Nigerian society today, politics is not actually guaranteeing the greatest good for the greatest number. Rather, it is actually guaranteeing the highest good for individuals, few individuals. And that is exactly what we have in the Nigerian society today. So learning from the Aristotelian philosophy, Nigeria can actually benefit a great deal if all these political thoughts are actually implemented in the Nigerian or in any country's political system. Thank you very much.